Okay. So let me talk about this whole retrograde thing, because I've been thinking about this, and I've been struggling with technical issues since this retrograde began. And I'm not saying this to complain about retrograde at all. I'm saying this so we can appreciate the value of this part of the cycles, because this happens every year. Okay, there's multiple retrogrades through the year, and and they happen the same time. And a lot of people complain about them and all this stuff, but those are all just, in my view, I'm seeing this as all disempowerment programs, in the sense that, you know, these retrogrades are opportunities. And if things are going awry, like a lot awry, and they're massively disruptive, or they're actually stopping you from doing something, right? It's showing you something that's out of integrity. It's showing you something that's not in right relationship to the natural cycles of Earth, the natural cycles of the seasons, of the moon cycles, the heliocentric cycles. You see what I mean? It's a highlight to things that are important for us to be reflecting upon. Okay. And when things are going awry, it's pushing on things that are not in right relationship, right? So every time it goes into retrograde, they're in different flavors of energy, like different signs, different houses, that kind of thing. And that's all. The houses are very unique and individual to you. And the signs are the collective, you know. So our particular retrograde is, for me, is impacting a lot in our electronics and our systems that we have at Light Body. And what it's highlighting, and this is what I noticed, what it's highlighting, what is really wreaking havoc on, are the parts of our system that aren't integrity. You know, with these things, that there's energies that need to be expressed. And if we're not in right relationship, allowing them to express, then things break down. Okay. And this is a great example. You know, I just used this closet, well, there wasn't a sign, no trespassing, but I just used this closet without asking anybody. Right. And so, of course, a property manager comes in and says, "You're not supposed to be here," you know? So, I think she's going to let me stay here for a few more minutes. So I can finish the chat with you guys, which is great. So, you know, these breakdowns and these retrogrades are breaking energies down where there's naturally a flow, and the flow is not being allowed to happen. Okay. So, with the example I was given was that, you know, there was something going on with some of our processes at the academy that I was just kind of like, I was giving notice that we were using too much disk space, but I was getting notices like that for a long time, and I was kind of ignoring them. And I would give a recommendation that things get deleted once they're backed up, but then people weren't comfortable with deleting things. And then eventually we end up being like 3,000% over our allowed storage space, right? So as soon as the retrograde kicks in, I get the notice is, okay, you're not going to be allowed to record to this account anymore until you clean up the space, right? So there's that kind of example. And then with the internet, it's like, it hits on parts of us that want to have control, or parts of me that feel like I need to have control of certain things. And it's more about, the lessons for me is more about, being improvising and being in the flow, and you know what I mean, allowing flow to be so, and all this stuff. And actually, when I sat down and did this, I had a vision of someone opening this door, and I ignored it. And here we are, someone's opening the door. You see what I mean? So it's showing us parts where we're not in right relationship with certain things, with certain data sets, with certain realities, all this stuff. So if a lot of things are breaking down in your world because of this retrograde, start looking at it differently, rather than, oh, this is retrograde, this is what happens. Start asking yourself, where am I not allowing the flow? Where am I not being flexible? Where am I, insisting that it stays this way? Or where, you see what I mean? Where are you rigid? That kind of thing. Our natural state as infinite beings in a biosuit is like a running river. It's a flow. That's our natural state. Right? Just to give you a little measure on where you're at. How naturally do you flow with things, or not flow with things?